Good evening, welcome to Lagos. I am Adegboyega Labino, thanking you for finding time to join us. Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode has hailed the national leader of the All Progressive Congress, APC, Bola Tinubu, for his contributions to political leadership in the country. Governor Ambode, who spoke at the 11th Bola Tinubu Colloquium held at the International Conference Center, Abuja, as part of activities marking the 67th birthday of Bola Tinubu, said it was gratifying to know that the next level promised by the APC government was already unfolding, adding that the next 4 years will engender massive development and service to the people. The governor, who attended the colloquium in the company of his wife, Bolanle, hailed Tinubu for his political acumen, which he said contributed to the election victory of the APC at the Federal, National Assembly, Governorship and State Assembly elections. The colloquium was attended by President Muhammadu Buhari, who was represented by Vice President Osinbajo, governors, ministers, members of the National Assembly, royal fathers, political leaders, captains of industries, and members of the diplomatic corps, among others. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has presented certificate of returns to the 26 elected members of Ondo State House of Assembly. Admonishing the elected lawmakers, the resident electoral commissioner in Ondo State, Rufus Akeju, urged them to justify the trust reposed in them by the electorate. Akeju tasked them to make laws that will improve the country's electoral system.
I will continue to deliver the dividend of democracy like before. So they didn't expect less than what I've been doing to them.
This time around, we are going to put all we have in place to make sure Ondo State move forward.
As a legislator, we are going to collaborate with the executive to bring the dividend of democracy to the grassroots.
On innovations and reforms brought into the electoral system, as this will minimize unnecessary rancor and political violence, making Nigeria the bastion of democracy in Africa and a positive reference point in the world.
The All Progressive Congress, APC, has 23 members, while the PDP won 2 seats and the Zenith Labour Party, ZLP, got 1. Report by a non-governmental organization has suggested widespread corruption in the country and ranked the Nigerian police as the most corrupt institution in Nigeria. IETV News got the views of some respondents on this and ways to reduce corruption in Nigeria's public sector. Faith Agbetuya has the details.
After a survey carried out by the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, across the country's 6 geopolitical zones, including the Federal Capital Territory, the Nigeria Police Force, Power Sector, Education, Judiciary, and Health Ministry ranked as the 5 topmost corrupt institutions in Nigeria.
As far as the Nigerian police is concerned, increase their welfare, give them a conducive atmosphere to work. You transfer a policeman from one place to the other, no allowance. When he comes to that station where he's being newly transferred, there is no share, there is no place to sleep. He will sleep at the station. That same policeman, you will wake up in the dead of the night that the armed robber is somewhere else. And when it is in the morning, he see you on the street and you look at him, even Nigerian, you look at him with disdain. Like you are a policeman, look at the way you dress. For crying out loud, what are we doing about it?
Nigerians will learn how to appreciate those who are rendering selfless service. You know, Nigeria has one attitude: are you not getting your salary? It is not about that. Those extraordinarily, they render service again, apart from what the laws has given them. Yeah, we need to commend them.
While reacting to SERAP's report, some respondents heard their views on whether or not the Nigeria Police Force is the most corrupt public institution in the country.
That, with series of experience I've had personally with them, I totally agree. If I have to say, apart from my own experience personally, a lot of things do happen every day.
I want to disagree a bit with that report. I believe we have more corruption going on in government, across government parastatals across the country.
Others shared the encounters they have had with the Nigeria police within and outside Lagos.
Some years ago, how where I work and the chief stormed that place, and then they were arrested, taken to SAS office at Ikeja, almost about 6 of my colleagues, and because the chairman of the company was a big man, gave money to the SAS, and they tortured us.
There was a time I queued by the ATM to withdraw somewhere in Ilorin, and the queue was very long, and all of a sudden a mobile police just jumped in and he went to the front, and as I was trying to talk you can't do that, blah 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 and stuff and all of that, the next thing he started beating me with the other mobile officer at the back, and as if that was not enough, they were both beating me. I left there, I went to the nearest police station to report at A Division, and as I was filing my report, the person of which I was filing the report to was actually told me that maybe I am a robber. I went to that bank to rob. That is why the police had to do that.
The respondents suggested that independent bodies should be set up to investigate corruption in the public sector and advised that the Inspector General of Police should intensify efforts to act swiftly when complaints are laid by members of the public. Faith Agbetuya.
Gombe State High Court has thrown the Councillor of Bolari East in the state, Ishaku Garba, behind bars for vote buying. He was today convicted on a 3-count charge bordering bribery. Acting on intelligence report, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission had arrested him at Bolari polling unit 0077 in Gombe State during the last concluded presidential and National Assembly elections, where he was cited sharing money, an offense contrary to Section 124, subsection 5 of Electoral Act 2010 as amended, and punishable under Section 124, Section 1, subsection C of the same Act. He pleaded guilty to the charges. Defense counsel S.A. Mustafa, however, pleaded for leniency. The trial judge thereafter convicted him on the 3 counts and sentenced him to 1 month in prison with an option of 100,000 naira as fine for count 1, 1 month in prison on count 2 with an option of 50,000 naira as fine, 1 month in prison on count 3 with an option of 20,000 naira as fine. The prison terms are to run consecutively. The court further ordered that the sum of 295,000 naira recovered from him should be forfeited to the federal government. And now to the business news. In anticipation of the final signing into law of the 30,000 naira new minimum wage bill by President Muhammadu Buhari, some workers are beginning to doubt the financial capacity and the sincerity of government establishment to pay, while some workers are curious why it has taken this long to secure presidential approval, let alone begin its actual implementation. IATV News asked some respondents on whether they still have the confidence in ministries, departments and agencies on the goodwill and willingness to pay. According to them, the Nigerian worker deserves a better treatment in the area of welfare.
I think it's a nice initiative at first. 30,000 naira, it has been dragging for a long time. We've been deliberating on this 30,000 naira for a long time, and and time being, why not March? Why not April? Why is it extending to May?
Nigerian workers have been suffering for a long time, and need this compensation for them to be able to elevate them toward serving the nation better. What I meant by this is that by giving them a certain amount, which will not let them be taking bribe, or that will let them not be sufficient to feed their family. All this is very, very important in the amount of the money being paid to the workers.
It's good news for the, for the workers. As per
whether it came late or not, is better than to be late than never.
Some have also expressed their reservations about the capacity of some state governments to pay the new minimum wage. They, however, warned against retrenchment of civil servants as an excuse to implement the new pay.
For an average person, 30,000 naira does not really make any difference in someone's life, you know. How much does a bag of rice cost?
That's why we have the Ministry of Statistics there, for us to have a kind of a parameter for us to measure when the money of the workers has to be increased. But to me, what I've been studying in Nigeria government is that the statistics department is not working at all. They said that some governors are not be able to pay the money. Why are you fighting for the governor when you don't have anything to do for the people? When you don't have any ideas to, you know, improve their welfare?
We deserve more than that, but it depends. So it's a gradual process. So from 30, it can be increased in 5 years' time to any amount.
With elections into different public offices now effectively over, economic analysts have ensured their counterparts in different parts of the world that Nigeria is a safe haven that offers the highest level of returns. In this report, RATV Business News had a chat with the chairman of the organized private sector who asserted this positive development about the investing environment in Nigeria.
Point of view of the organized private sector, all we keep doing is reassuring our counterparts from other parts of the world to be sure that there is so much to gain by remaining in Nigeria. And generally speaking, if you go by the level of returns,
in a related development, Nigeria was situated on a positive pedestal as a country with a market advantage in the West African sub-region.
Market. And I can tell you that easily Nigeria is the most populous market in the continent. We are about 60% of the entire population of West Africa.
On the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, market capitalization, one of the main indicators of the performance of the investors' involvement in the capital market, is moving on to a higher plane with a record of 11.59 trillion naira. And now to the stock market report. Stockbrokers acting on the instructions of investors traded in a total of 1.92 billion ordinary shares valued at 2.8 billion naira. When the closing bell rang, Wema Bank PLC led the activity chart with 1.7 billion ordinary shares valued at 1.3 billion naira. Champs PLC came second on the activity chart with 99.5 million ordinary shares valued at 19.9 million naira. Presco Nigeria PLC topped the Guinness chart with 6 naira to close trading at 68 naira. NASCO Nigeria PLC came second with a 1 naira 80 kobo gain to close transactions at 20 naira. However, CCNN led the pack of losers with a drop of 1 naira to close trading at 19 naira. Dangote Flour PLC dropped 50 kobo to close dealings at 10 naira 50 kobo. All-share index closed today's trading at 30,833.50 points, a 0.01% improvement when compared with midweek March 27 dealings, all in a total of 2,807 transactions, while market capitalization came to a close at 11.59 trillion naira. And with that, we come to the end of our contributions from Lagos today, Thursday, 28th of March 2019. I am Adegboyega Labiron, thanking you for having stayed tuned, and now handing you over back to our studios in Ibadan for the next segment of the bulletin. Good evening.
Mr. Labiron, we are going to take the closing again. Forget about the 28th of March and just...
Okay, how do I state that?
Just the end of our... This is the much we can contribute today.
And that's the size of a package.
Back to you. Let me take you back to Ibadan. 2, 1, zero action.
And that's the size of our package from the Lagos studios of IATV. I am Adegboyega Labiron, thanking you for having stayed tuned and handing you over back to our studios in Ibadan. Good evening.